Let's take a step beyond base pay and look at something that truly shapes how work gets done: incentives. If base salary tells employees what their role is worth, incentives tell them what matters most. They're not just an add-on to compensation, they are a strategic lever. When designed well, incentives influence behavior, focus effort, and connect individual performance directly to organizational success. Think of base pay as the foundation. It provides consistency, security, and reflects the value of the role. But incentives are what create momentum. They shift the conversation from what is this role worth to what outcomes are we trying to drive. And that shift is where performance really begins to accelerate. Incentives are powerful because they send signals. They tell employees what the organization values, not just in words, but in action. They shape where people focus their time, how they prioritize their work, and what they believe will be recognized and rewarded. When those signals are clear and consistent, performance becomes more aligned and more intentional. Let's look at commission-based incentives. In roles tied to revenue, like sales, commissions create a direct and immediate connection between effort and reward. The more value an employee generates, the more they earn. This kind of structure can be incredibly motivating because it's transparent. Employees can clearly see how their actions translate into results and into compensation. Now consider performance bonuses. These are tied to specific goals, whether that's completing a major initiative, hitting key metrics, or contributing to broader organizational outcomes. What makes bonuses especially effective is their focus. They don't just reward activity, they reward impact. They reinforce the outcomes that matter most to the organization. Long-term incentives take this one step further. When employees are given stock options or equity, they begin to think differently. They're not just focused on short-term wins. They're invested in the long-term success of the organization. This creates a sense of ownership, where employees see themselves as part of the bigger picture, not just participants, but contributors to sustained growth. Here's where things get strategic. There's no single incentive model that works for every organization. The most effective programs are designed intentionally, aligned with business goals, tailored to the nature of the work, and grounded in what truly motivates employees. When incentives are misaligned, they can create confusion or even unintended behaviors. But when they're designed well, they create focus, clarity, and direction. This is where HR plays a critical role. You're not just administering incentives. You're designing systems that influence how work gets done. You're shaping behavior, driving performance, and aligning individual effort with organizational priorities. And when incentives are thoughtfully designed, they don't just reward success. They help create it.